What up, guys? James here, aka the Pomp, and it's time for another review. But first, some quick updates. Celador, my collab with Sheer Revival, is currently, we're working on getting the jars printed. Once we get those in hand, we'll be able to give you guys like a hard release date. So, very soon. Also, in the near future, we will be reviewing some more of Flagship's new products. But today, we'll be looking at the new Big Slick water-based pomade. And this is one of the few times like we've seen a home brewer kind of commission out to a lab to get a nice water-based product kind of cooked up. And typically that ends up with like a gel pomade, mostly because it's something that labs are typically capable and very familiar with making. But like in all honest truth, that's what we call it on like here on the Pomp, and it's something that I kind of use frequently just out of convenience, just because it's really intuitive. And we'll talk about like the ups and downs, the drawbacks and the advantages of it. But we'll go ahead and start off this review by looking at the jar. This is the jar, and as you can see, it's that familiar Big Slick kind of image that we're all familiar with. It says Big Slick water-based hair pomade, and this is a 4.3 ounce jar. Directions, ingredients on the back. It's a nice like kind of brushed aluminum jar, but because it's a water based, you can kind of feel that it has a coating on it, because if you leave it with like just bare aluminum, which many other companies have done, and put like a gel pomade or water based product in it, you're going to end up with corrosion on the inside. So this is the product itself. It's totally translucent, transparent, like very clear, with like a kind of hint of like, I guess, just some opaqueness. I honestly can't put a color to it. But I mean, by appearance, it looks like a gel pomade. But that has been deceiving in the past, and so we'll kind of verify whether or not it is today. But let's go ahead and start using it. The smell of this pomade is actually like really nice. It's like, as described by like Big Slick, it's like a clean and classic scent. It pushes more towards like a mix of like a shampoo and a cologne. Like obviously colognes, like true colognes, are a very complex scent, but it has like this, obviously it doesn't have the complexity of depth, because that's like really expensive to replicate, but it has like the cleanness. And I say shampoo because there is this like kind of, I don't know how else to describe it, but there's just this consistent like kind of hint or taste to a shampoo's smell that I always like smell, that's always consistent with shampoos. But yeah, anyways, using it, actually gotta be careful, because I was deadlifting on Friday and I totally like ripped off half of my callus, which makes it really hard to do things now. But probably keep it in the fingertips. Scooping it out, it feels like a gel pomade, some of the ones we used before, but unlike kind of the more common ones like Suavecito or Layrite, this one is not as, I guess, jello, but more like jam-like. And that's like the main, not the main, but like one of the big just consistency differences I've noticed between like certain gel pomades versus others. Yeah, I forgot to take off my glasses. But they either have like a jello type of like brittle consistency, or they have a jam like consistency. And let's be honest here, we've used like a million different gel pomades on this blog, and there are a bunch on the market, and the differences between each one are typically very like minute. They're very minimal, and it takes a very experienced user to like even tell the difference. And so the biggest, like kind of, the most apparent and easily detectable differences are just the smell, the hold, and of course, the price. And so those are some things that we will talk about. I will still kind of focus and hone in on the differences I can tell in regards to like the application, styling, strength, slickness, endurance, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But right now, application, very easy. This is advertised to be a medium firm hold type of product, and it's applying very easily. Like, I'm not having any issues at all right now. The smell is also kind of like permeating, but not overly bearing at all. And man, having a hard time trying to keep this thing out of my open wound. But applying is really easy, and kind of working it underneath, like where I'm restyling the pump, which is like always a difficult position to place it. It's always good to have a product that's kind of like easy to put it there, because with an overly strong product, it's very uncomfortable to put product down there. But because of the open wound, I've been taking pretty small scoops, trying really hard to, oh no, too late, got it in there. Got Big Slick in my bloodstream now. But anyways, this should be the last scoop I need. And we'll go ahead and call it done from there. And then we'll start combing everything back. Obviously, it comes back very easily, and it's just really light and easy to work with right now. And if it can really keep this lightweightness and then give me hold still, that'd be very impressive. So I'll go ahead and start styling now. And we'll go ahead and call it done. And what I've realized is that this product reminds me a lot of Baxter's like soft water pomade. And that was like a very good gel pomade. Definitely one of the like better ones we've used, one of the best ones we've used, just because of its like kind of more refined characteristics. Because you can go ahead and buy like Suavecito Firme, something like super strong, but it's always hard to get something refined. But then the downsides, of course, is Baxter is like a huge ripoff. It's super expensive. I guess Big Slick would be kind of like a good balance. Much more product at the same time, much cheaper. And so you kind of start moving to a more like affordable yet refined like gel pomade. And so that's what I'm like really thinking about here. It's what it got me really thinking of, because it just reminds me a lot of kind of that experience when I was using that product. But kind of, as you can see, like somehow you have like a little bit, like a tad of like shine right now. We'll see whether it survives throughout the day, but there is like a bit of shine going on. Pretty damn good slickness. I mean, it's capturing like a lot of my stray hairs, but like within like reason. It's not giving the appearance of like being oily at all. Of course, it's a gel pomade. But the hold itself, I would put at a straight medium. I would put it as like a very balanced one, so like just straight medium, that's how I would describe it. And so that gives kind of the control. The control, one of the big things that is similar to the soft water pomade is that the Big Slick water-based pomade is like, it has this unique balance to it. It's not just like a style, shape, and just like it follows your movement exactly. It has some freedom to it. It has some kind of personality to it, which you will have to fight and balance with, but at the same time that gives a much better shape at the end of the day if you can control it. And yeah, and so go throughout the whole day now, and then we'll come back and then we'll talk about how well it performed and whether or not it dried, because right now it looks like a gel pomade out of the jar. It kind of feels like it, but we really have to kind of nail down what characteristics it borrows from both pomades and gels. So let's talk about that then. Alright, so I'm back. Let's go ahead and talk about the hair. So it performed more similarly to Baxter's hard water pomade throughout the whole day. In other words, it was pretty sensitive to kind of like anything kind of shaking it up. If you try to restyle without water, it's not happening. The reason why I mentioned that is because like the soft water pomade from Baxter, which it kind of, this product styled like, is one that kind of stays soft and is bouncy and actually doesn't really dry to a great extent, whereas the hard water does dry to a good extent, or rather a significant extent, and it tends to flake off when you start agitating it. Luckily, this one, it kind of just like puffs off and it kind of like disappears, and so you want to recapture it with the water and reactivate it with the water, but it doesn't flake at all. Like, you don't see any flaking, which is nice, but you do see like things falling apart. And so if you can notice, like, the way I'm kind of moving my hand through my hair, it just looks like there's no product in my hair, which honestly makes it feel nice, but in order to restyle it, like, you're gonna need like product to still be there. And like, it's good enough to like probably get through a day of like very like minimal activity. If you're just gonna be sitting in class all day, if you're just gonna be sitting in an office chair, then like, yeah, maybe you can get away with it. But like, any sort of activity is probably gonna like cause some sort of like kind of need to reorient your hair. And so restyling it, like, it's not too bad if you have water with you, but that does mean that you need to take a trip to the bathroom, or if you can't, then you just won't be able to. It's really kind of like if the product's there, you can style with it, and if it isn't, then you really can't, because like, it's not like a water base or like an oil based pomade where it's gripping to itself. It has some sort of like inherent hold to it. This product, once it dries, you either need to reactivate with water, or you just can't make use of it anymore. I do appreciate that it was really lightweight though in regards to how it felt. It felt really clean, really nice. It was not bothersome at all. Like, some of the other gel pomades can get really kind of groggy, really have a little too much presence in your hair, a little too much weight, and this one felt really clean. But yes, as I hinted before, it does harden to a significant extent. It doesn't like get all crunchy like Suavecito or the Tres Flores molding pomade, but it does harden, and that is something to acknowledge. But yeah, I mean, all in all, like, this is a clean smelling pomade, a clean feeling pomade, and one that's very enjoyable to style at the beginning. If your day is not physically demanding, it will probably fit well, extremely well. And if you don't need to like get like crazy high or crazy volume, then like, this is a very nice and well balanced. It's very similar to the Baxter like soft water pomade, which is a great product, which is way overpriced, not worth the money though. But this one, you get more than double the product for like a cheaper price. So this was a much better bang for your buck. But if you're kind of like, you want to get like crazy volume, or you're pushing like kind of your days full of physical activity, then this might not be the best fit for you. However, there are other options, and this does fit into a certain category. But yeah, so hope you guys got something out of this review. This was a review of Big Slick water-based pomade. If you guys are interested, of course, you can always get it off their website. We do offer the promo code to save a little money off your order, so not only is it already cheaper than like what it's most comparable to when styling, it's now save a little bit more. Trying to help you out a little bit. But yeah, hope you guys got something out, and hopefully in the near future we'll see you guys again for some more reviews and also some new products. Alright, peace.